This is a 2020 Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport with 4Motion, and it's an SEL trim level, and today we're going to review it.
We'd like to thank our friends at Mankato Volkswagen Motor Company for loaning us this beautiful 2020 Atlas Cross Sport for our review today.
Hey folks, I'm Rob.
And I'm Nathan.
And we are Two Guys in a Ride. And say, Nate, what are we taking a look at today?
Today, folks, we are taking a look at the new 2020 Atlas Cross Sport SEL 4Motion.
That's right, but before we do, if you want to keep up to date with all the new cars, trucks, and SUVs, and you want to know how to operate all the technology that's built into them today, plus you like cool collector car stories,
take a moment to hit that subscribe button down below and ring that bell notification up above so you never miss a video.
That's right. So what do you say, Nate?
I say let's go for a ride.
All right.
Okay, so here we go for a ride in the Atlas Cross Sport. And you know, Nathan, I drove it over here. This is a 2-liter, and for this thing to be such a large vehicle, and it feels really large inside.
It does. It doesn't really feel any smaller than the Atlas at this point.
No, but I mean, it's just wide. You got that big wide hood, but it's really got good acceleration. It's pretty peppy for a 2-liter turbo with this big of a vehicle. It's just really, really good, and it's as big as it is. It's really maneuverable as well. Quietness, you know, headed on the highway. Right now we're driving through neighborhoods, but the sound quality and the quietness in here is just tremendous too. It feels like you're in a vault.
Yeah, it does.
It's
really
very
tight.
quiet.
It's very quiet.
And it wasn't much louder out on the highway. You know, when you inspect noise on the highway, a little bit more wind noise and tire noise, but it wasn't bad at all. Yeah, so
you don't pick up any of that tire noise here in town.
No, not at all. So one of the cool things too is, you know, I know some people have talked about the overall design and look of this dashboard and layout of the cockpit and everything, but the overall fit and finish is very, very nicely done. I mean, it's all plastic, but you got your nice soft plastics in certain areas that you touch, and then, you know, you've got hard plastics in areas that you don't typically touch unless you need to. You don't touch them the whole time. So it's well put together.
It's very well. I mean, the crack, you don't see the cracks, any unusual cracks or gaps or anything.
No rattles, no squeaks. Everything in the console area is really nicely done as well. So yeah, that's really cool. Then we talk about some of the safety features, and this thing is like crazy loaded, just like on most cars nowadays. There's just so much safety, and you've got all your you got ABS, you got sensors front and rear, and even corners. You know, you got backup camera, brake force distribution, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control. Gee, there's a litany, and I'll go over those when I'm doing my outside review, because there's just so much. You just cannot keep up with it all. But yeah, I'm really impressed with it. It handles very well, maneuvers very well, and it's really a nice, solid, quiet drive.
It really is.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is pull to the side, and then I'm going to let Nathan have his turn, because he's not yet driven this. No. That's rare, because usually he's the first one to drive. But all right, here we go.
All right, my turn. Woohoo!
I'm way back here.
Yeah, you are way back there.
And when I say that, Nathan, you had your seat where it was comfortable? Or,
yep. No, I had it where it was comfortable.
I got a foot of room back here, knee room.
Wow. All right, so one of the things that I notice is just the front seats. I haven't sat in the rear yet, but I do like the bolsters. They hug you, so that is, I like that. In terms of where everything is laid out in the car, you know, VW compared to other cars tends to, I don't want to say this, maybe not have as many buttons, and they're spaced apart a little bit more. So it's fairly easy to get to everything. Now, the infotainment screen is all touchscreen with a couple of physical buttons. But then it's, a little ways down to your climate, and that's not all crowded. It's pretty well laid out. So that's kind of just a different design. It's nice. but everything's easy to get to. You do have voice command on here that will do a lot of the stuff, including your navigation. In terms of getting in and out, because the vehicle is higher up, it's fairly easy. This does have a rear view backup camera with a couple different angles, and it has parking sensors front and rear. So it's easy to park. Also, the steering on is really light.
Yeah, it is.
Coming up next is Rob's exterior review and my interior review. Stay tuned.
This is the new 2020 Volkswagen Cross Sport, and it is presented here in black pearl with a black leather interior. Now, it is powered by a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder double overhead cam, 16-valve, turbocharged and intercooled engine with variable valve intake and exhaust timing, and it does have variable valve lift. It produces 235 horsepower and 258 pound-foot of torque. It's also driven with an 8-speed automatic transmission with Tiptronic and Sport mode, and it has 4-motion all-wheel drive. Now, out front we do have the LED performance headlights with low-speed corner illuminating feature, so I guess it casts the light to the right or to the left as you're turning. It also does have LED daytime running lights, and I really do like the black grille with the chrome horizontal bars, 3 of them with the Volkswagen badge up front as well. It does have park distance control. You also have body-colored front bumpers with the matte silver lower trim. Now, up top, you have a heated windshield washer nozzles and rain sensing windshield wipers and a laminated front windshield, of course. Let's take a look around the side. Okay, these are 20-inch alloy wheels, and they are wrapped in P255 50 TR20 all-season tires. Up front, you have an independent front suspension with coil springs, telescopic dampers, and a 27mm stabilizer bar. Now, out back, there is a multi-link rear suspension with coil springs, telescopic shock absorbers, and also a 27mm stabilizer bar. Okay, and it does have full-wheel anti-lock brakes with 13.2-inch front rotors and 12.2-inch rear rotors. And I do like the black matte cladding along the wheel well arches and the rocker panels to help alleviate scuffs and rock chips. Now, these are heated power operated side mirrors, and they also have a memory feature, and as you can see, they have the integrated turn signal indicators. There are also body colored door handles with a lock unlock sensor, and you see it does have the chrome belt line and chrome window trim, as well as out back you have the privacy glass. And up top, it is a power tilting sliding panoramic sunroof, and you see the nice matte silver roof rack bars. Let's walk around the back and see what we got there. Okay, yeah, it is a little bright out here today. We can't find any shade here at the park that we shoot at, but it does have a remote opening and closing power lift gate, and it does have closing assist. There's a rear window defroster and wiper. I also like the nice chrome band running from side to side under the tail lights and the Volkswagen badge. It does have a LED tail lights, and it does also have the backup camera, and it has parking sensors integrated below in this reflector marker going across. And it does have rear traffic alert, has body colored bumpers, and chrome lower trim. And of course, it does have the roof spoiler that is body colored, and it houses the high mount stoplight. Let's take a look at the cargo area. Okay, as I said, it was power liftgate, and there we go. You can see we have our small carry-on in there, but with the second row seats folded, you got 77.8 cubic feet. With the seats up, as you see them here, it's 40.3 cubic feet. Now, the cargo area length of the floor behind the front row is 80 inches to the back, and with the second row up, as you see it, it's 46 inches. Now, the cargo width at the belt line is 48 inches. The cargo width between the wheel housings is 46 inches. And the cargo area height from here to the floor is 29 inches. Now, There are a lot of active and passive safety features on this vehicle. Some of them are the electronic stability control, the anti-slip regulation. It's got an electronic differential lock and engine brake assist. Of course, it has an anti-lock braking system, and there's also electronic brake pressure distribution and hydraulic brake assist. Up front, it is a crash-optimized front end. It does have side curtain protection. It has an intelligent crash response system, and way more that Nathan will cover when he does his interior review. Let's talk about the dimensions. Okay, its front track is 67 inches, its rear track 67.6 inches, has an overall width of 78.4 inches, and its overall length is 195.5 inches. Its height, 67.8 inches, and it rides on a wheelbase of 117.3 inches. It does have a ground clearance of 8 inches, and up front, the approach angle is 21 degrees. Out back, the departure angle is 27 degrees. And in the middle, the breakover angle is 18 degrees. And of course, that's closely related to ground clearance, but not quite the same. Curb weight, 4,288 pounds. Gross vehicle weight rating, 5,666 pounds. And it's capable of having a 1,091 pound payload. Fuel capacity, 18.6 gallons, and it has a turning circle of 40.51 feet, and capable of towing 5,000 pounds when properly equipped. Now, let's talk about our SPADE rating. Of course, safety being first. It does have an overall rating of 5 out of 5 stars, has a frontal crash rating of 5 out of 5, side crash rating of 5 out of 5, and a rollover of 4 out of 5 stars. Performance, 0 to 60, 7.2 miles. Quarter mile, 91 miles an hour. 70 to 0, 174 feet. And now, appearance. Well, the Cross Sport is a little shorter than its big brother, the Atlas. But other than the shortened and sloping rear window, it does carry the same crisp lines as the Atlas. And I think that's a very good thing. So, let's talk about dependability. Well, it does have a basic warranty of 48 months, 50,000 miles. And it has a powertrain warranty of 48 months, 50,000 miles as well. There's also roadside assistance coverage, which does cover you for 36 months or 36,000 miles. Now, fuel economy. City, 18. Highway, 23. Combined, you're looking at 20 miles to the gallon. Not bad. It is a really big vehicle, and you'll notice it when you get inside, but it doesn't drive like one. So, in summary, the Atlas Cross Sport has a lower roof than the Atlas that slopes downward after the back seat to give it a more coupe-like appearance, and that's really nice. Dimensionally, the 2-row Cross Sport is 5.2 inches shorter than the 3-row Atlas. So, if you don't need the 3rd row, but you do want an expansive back seat, the Atlas Cross Sport should be right up your alley. It does have the same chiseled good looks and driving character as its big brother, the full-size 3-row Atlas. So, now let's take a tour of the inside. Nathan's going to show you all around in there, but before we do, take a moment, give us a like, and click on that subscribe button down below. So, what do you say, Nate? Take it away.
Stepping on the inside of the 2020 Atlas Cross Sport, the door, you've got some nice combinations of materials. Now this is a plastic here, but I just like the different color combinations. Kind of a gray with some lines in it, and then you sort of have a matte gray here, and then the white stitching and the black door. I just kind of like that combination. I also like the little white stitching lines here. Just gives it a little bit of flair. Now, as far as controls go, of course, you got your windows lockout. You have auto up and down all 4 windows, and then you have your mirror controls. Up here in the door, you have got your on lock and lock buttons, and you have 2 of your 8 speakers. So you got 1 up here, and then you got 1 down here. Now, in addition to that, you have got your trunk release, and then you got a bottle storage, and then some other storage right in here, fairly deep. I do like that it's a grab-through handle.
Moving on over to the seat. The driver's seat is a 10-way power, including lumbar, and has a 3-person memory setting. And the passenger seat is a 6-way power without the memory settings, of course. Moving on down here, we have the trunk release here, and I like these. These are 2-pull, so you pull it once, and then you pull it again, and then when you go to the front, there's no latch to try and find. You just lift the hood open. Nice big footrest on the left. I like the pedals with the deep sort of traction on them. Okay, moving on up here, we have a little bit of a storage area right here that closes, and then you have your light switch. So of course here's off. Here you have your auto lights, and this does have fully automatic headlights, including high beam. And then you have your parking lights, and then of course your headlights. Now you can pull this, and that'll activate your fog lights. Hey, it is a tilt and telescoping steering wheel, and the lever for that is right here. Let's step inside. All right, so we'll give it a push start. The push start is located down in the center console instead of up here. Let's give it a push start. I love these digital cockpits. They're very customizable. You notice it says driver 1, so right away I can change it between 3 different drivers and a guest driver. Okay, so let's start with, in order to look at this, we need to kind of talk about the steering wheel controls. But a little preface. First of all, what you see on the top here, this is your compass. This is some of your safety systems. This is your mode that you're in. This is, of course, your outdoor temperature. Your audio is always here. And then down here, you got your digital speedometer, your adaptive cruise control, and that will disappear if it's off. Your adaptive part of your cruise control. And then, of course, your trip meter and your gear selector indicator. Now, on this particular screen, you also get the time since refueled, the average miles per gallon since refueled, and your miles that you have left in the tank. Okay, if I use the left and right buttons on this right side of the steering wheel, it's going to go through different things that you can show on this screen. So real quickly, you have driving data, assist systems, navigation, audio, phone, vehicle status, and then we're back to driving data. Okay, if you leave it there, it stays. Okay, you also have a view button. Now, if I press the view button, this is going to change the whole screen except for the very top and the very bottom. So here I get some analog looking gauges, although they're completely digital. Here I get a little bigger screen with my average speed, average economy, travel time, distance, etc. And then I can press it again if I want, and I come back to here. Now, if I want to change just what's in between, then I just use these arrows. So it's quite customizable. Now, if I go back to navigation and I press if that's showing and I press the view button, that's where I get back to that large screen. Okay, let's go over to the left side of the steering wheel. Basically, this is your cruise control and your media volume. You got your on-off button here. You've got your set, your resume, your gap setting, and then plus or minus to increase or decrease your speed while in cruise control. This is a shortcut to some safety systems. So if I press that, you're going to get lane assist, blind spot monitor, rear traffic alert, and front assist. And then I can go over to my right side of the steering wheel, and I can go down to any one of these, click the OK button, and I can turn that off. Okay, now, of course, I don't want to do that, so I am going to click that back on again. All right. The rest of the buttons on the right side are your voice command, your heated steering wheel, and then, of course, your selections for when you're in media. All right. That being said, let's go over to the infotainment screen. So this is an 8-inch screen. There are 8 speakers. It is a Fender audio system. Sounds very nice. It is touchscreen. There are a few physical buttons. You have a power and a volume, and then you have the ability to scroll like you're in radio stations, or different settings, like now it's changing my navigation, like how far above the earth it's looking. So that's really nice. Everything else is touch. So let's go through them. These are your shortcuts. You've got radio, you've got media, okay? You've got phone, voice command, navigation, apps. Okay, so if you are using your phone and you have apps that will connect, this is where you can have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, or MirrorLink. MirrorLink is when you don't have an Android or an Apple CarPlay. It will still allow you to show some things up in the screen here from your phone. And then of course you have menu button. All right, it's really a nice screen. As far as responsiveness, it seems to be very responsive. You click on something, it's pretty quick to open it right up, which I really like. All right, moving on down. This is a dual zone auto climate control. So in fact, all the buttons are physical. You've got your defroster, you've got your different modes here, you got recirculatory. You do have 3-stage heated seats on both sides. And one of my favorite features is that the sync button, of course, is a physical button. Now in the middle, that's where your auto temp is. You can pull up the menu. Now if you click this, it's going to show up on the screen. So now you can see it digitally, and you can touch and adjust it from there as well. This rotates, and that's of course your fan speed, your off button, and then of course driver temperature, passenger temperature, your max AC, your regular AC, max defrost, and the rear defrost button. Okay, moving down just a little bit below that, this is your auto start stop defeat button, your hazard button, and of course just an indicator that the passenger airbag is on or off. Now down here you do have a wireless phone charger, which is really nice. This slides right in there. It's a great big space. It will fit lots of different things, certainly large size smartphones. You do have 2 USB ports down here to hook into your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and MirrorLink. You do have a 3.5mm jack as well as a 12-volt outlet. Coming back up here, I'll take the keys out. You do have a nice pair of cup holders with a large pass-through. Again, that's good for setting your phone or some other things down lengthwise in there. Your shifter, I like that it's not a push button. I like having a shifter. Okay, you can bring it down, push it over to the right, and then you get a plus or minus, and you can do Tiptronic shifting, so electric shifting. Okay, now moving down here, you have an electronic parking brake, and then you have your parking sensors front and rear that you can turn on or off. Now this button up here, you can change the mode. So right now it is set to sport. Okay, if I rotate it once to the left, it changes to snow. If I go over again, I've got off-road, and if I go over again, I've got off-road custom. Right. And I hit adjust. Now I can adjust steering. I can go from normal or sport. I can do the drive system, normal or off-road. I can do all-wheel. These all change. And of course, there's more down here. This is where you get your hill descent control, and it's automatically on then. Okay? I do kind of wish they would put a hill descent control as a physical button somewhere, because I know for myself, not every time am I off-roading when I want hill descent control, but it's there, and that's where it is. Okay, moving on back, we've got a very large center armrest storage, and it does have a USB plug-in in the rear, but that's very large. That's almost pickup size. Very, very big. So moving over to the glove compartment, there are a couple of hidden components that you don't normally see just stepping into the car. Okay, first of all, you have 2 SD card slots. Okay, and you can do, one of them is running navigation, and the other one can be used for music. It also has a CD player. And then this is just SD card storage right in here. So that's kind of nice. I like that. Okay. Up on the dashboard, you do have a nice open area with kind of a rubber mat in here, a sticky rubber mat, so things won't slide around so much. I really like that. You do have an auto-dimming rear view mirror. And then, of course, up here in the ceiling, you have all of your controls for your lights. These are LED. You have controls for the rear lights, on or off. And then, of course, you can control whether the dome lights come on or not when the doors are open right here. Okay, so then up here, you have your shade control for your panoramic window. So it is one touch that goes back. Push again, it stops. Push it forward, of course, and it closes automatically. And then you have your actual sliding sunroof button right here. So then these are your emergency assist buttons up here. The sun visors have an LED light up here. I do like the softer white light that the LED provides instead of the sort of the off, almost orangish glow that the incandescent give off. Okay, and they of course will telescope. Hey, over here, same thing. I really do like that LED light there. Okay, we're going to take a step into the back and see what that's like. Okay, so stepping into the second row of the Atlas Cross Sport is a surprise and really nice. So let's just start with the door first. You've got pretty much like the same as the front doors, but without the stitching. You have in the trim. You do have auto up and down windows. You've got a little bit of storage in here, which does have like a shelf wall that's blocking things from falling out, but it would have to be a small thing. Bottle holder and storage. Okay, the surprising thing comes when you step in. Now, I left the seat where it was when I was just up there a minute ago, and you can see I have like a foot of space. It's just unreal. This is really pickup size, like a four-door full-size pickup. Really roomy back here. I do like the seats. I like that upward slant, and the back seems comfortable. I do like that the center armrest again is elevated, so you get a nice support along with your door handle ledge right here. Sorry about the white paper. That is just the cup holders that are underneath here. Okay, and you do have dual seat back pockets. You got your ventilation controls, a little bit of storage here, and then you have two USBs down here, and you do have a 115-volt household outlet right here. Okay. The seats themselves are a 60-40 split. And it's a simple lever. You pull, it puts the seat down. You pull the lever, and it puts it back up again. You can also use that same lever to tilt the seat a little bit. I can't remember when I've been in the back of a mid-sized SUV and had this much room. Headroom, that's about an inch, but all you need is enough that your hair isn't touching. I'm 5'11.5". So really surprised when I stepped in here to see how much room it was and how comfortable the seats were. So overall, just a really, really nice SUV. All right, thanks for watching.